Things are getting very interesting with Minecraft 1.21 news, as we seem to have reached a turning point from things that were promised in Minecraft Live to unknown territory. Now, what does this unknown territory entail exactly? Let's speculate. Let's get right into things. But before we do, be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more Minecraft news. And with that out of the way, let's get right into things. Recently, we did get the trial chambers, the trial spawner, the breeze, the copper bulbs, and new tough blocks, which is interesting enough. And I must say, it does make you wonder where the final thing that I can remember being promised at Minecraft Live is. And that is the winner of the mob vote. Where is the Armadillo? Is that next? Who knows? But personally, I think it's a very interesting thing. Because this Armadillo will certainly revolutionize how we handle our wolves. Because it gives us wolf armor, which is something people have wanted for years now. And of course that's very important. Being able to protect your wolves so they don't, die to a creeper and then poof, you're stuck in a rough spot because you were counting on those wolves to help you. This wolf armor will ideally help remedy that problem. And of course, that means people want the Armadillo that much faster. But when will it come? Who knows? I guess we'll have to see. That being said, Sly Slime did point out, due to some internal scheduling conflicts, this week's Minecraft Snapshot is going to be a Thursday one. No Snapshot today. Now that is referencing the latest Snapshot, which is interesting enough. Now personally, I think this is, just because maybe they had some issues with the schedule. But it does really bring into question, why? Why was it delayed? Right? And it also makes you wonder, why would they delay it? What is in the next snapshot? And that's what people were wondering. Because the snapshot delay caused a bunch of speculation, including about the Armadillo. But nope, that's not what we got. We got crafter updates, which of course was a little depressing for the Armadillo hopefuls, but what can you do? Now, on another note, Dan Gioni did leak some concept art recently that Mojang confirmed the next day. This, of course, was concept art for the Armadillo, which is a very interesting thing because it does make you wonder, will the Armadillo be getting additional variants? Personally, I think that would be cool, but I'm not sure. Because would they actually give it additional variants, only for the Armadillo to only give one color of scute? Or will each variant give a different color scute? How would the multiple variants work? Would we be able to get different color scutes for, say, different color wolf armors? Because maybe wolf armor won't be dyeable? Or will they all give the same color scute and we can just dye them, like we do leather armor? For horses? I don't know. I'm not really sure they should actually allow it to be dyed. I think wolf armor should be unique from horse armor in that it can't be dyed, but the Armadillo, in fact, would have, multiple variants with multiple colors. That way, you want a specific color? Go hunt down that specific color Armadillo. Right? So you don't have to worry about having dye for your wolf armor and your horse armor. But that is just me. And there is one big question. Was the snapshot delay due to a messy schedule? Or was it in fact content related? Now that is interesting enough, but that is just me. I think it was interesting to think, why was the snapshot delayed? But of course, as we know, it was not Armadillo stuff. It was crafter update stuff. So clearly, I don't think it was much of a content related thing. I think it was more of a schedule happened to be messy kind of thing. Let me know your opinions down in the comments below. Pivoting to the contents of the snapshot for a moment, we do know one thing. The changes said updated crafter textures, which is interesting enough. But it also says we're really excited about tinkering opportunities both these new redstone blocks bring to the world. Please keep sending all your thoughts about them to Minecraft feedback so we can keep building Minecraft together. Enjoy. Interesting. Now, what exactly do they mean by tinkering opportunities? Who knows? Personally, I think it's more of a crafter related little quip there. Tinkering crafter, you know? But that's just me. I think it's an interesting thing that they're changing the crafter texture. It's like they're trying to perfect it and make sure it looks just right. And that is, in my opinion, why they keep changing the crafter texture. Because why else would you keep changing the texture of the block, right? You're just trying to make sure it looks proper. Because if it doesn't look right, you're going to regret it later. You're going to think, wow, I should have made it look like this or that, you know. You're going to want to make sure that you actually make it look right, which is why I think they keep changing the texture, but that's just me. That's just my opinion, though. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Kingby Dogs has curiously been silent for a bit. Question is why? Is it content related? Is Kingby Dogs busy? Who knows? In the future, maybe Kingby Dogs will have some juicy stuff to let us in on. Maybe Kingby Dogs will have some juicy information in the future. Who knows? I don't know. Let me know your theories on why Kingby Dogs has seemingly been curiously silent down in the comments below. On to some trial chambers news. The trial chambers are interestingly indeed, but they curiously seem a bit unfinished. I mean, some people talk of a door to nowhere. Seemingly a thing that's supposed to be like a door, but if you go in Spectator or destroy a block, you'll notice it leads to nowhere. Like it's supposed to lead to some place, but the place is not ready yet. Or hasn't really been worked on yet. And that's why it's not there. Which makes you curious, what exactly would this place be? Now, what I think is it could be, in fact, a boss room, which would be interesting. But that is just me. I've covered my thoughts on boss rooms before. But anyway. On another note, there was a video posted recently featuring Sarah. And at the end, there was a segment dedicated to feedback and how we could essentially help the creative process, if I remember what was said properly. I didn't actually watch the video. But that is just me. I'm just going off of what I've heard. Now, from what I've heard, at the end there was this segment dedicated to feedback and how we can influence the creative process or something of that nature, which is interesting enough. But on to something else, the trial key. Now, what exactly is this darn thing? It has no function, so it's pretty much useless right now, but it is interesting to think about because this trial key is fascinating. And if we take a look at this joke from Felix here, it says, a photo of me eating a corn cob provided the spark of inspiration that led to the trial key's look. Or so I've been told. I'm beginning to doubt this info. Okay, well, if we think about it, the trial key looks almost like a skull eating some copper. Which makes you wonder, what exactly does this mean? Well, if we look at the key itself, The top, the quote-unquote skull, looks like skulk, like the deep dark. And the copper looks, of course, like the trial chambers. So it's almost as if it's a combination of skulk and copper. The trial chambers meets the deep dark, which would be interesting to think about, because what does this mean? I personally have no idea, but it is fun to speculate about. Certainly an interesting thing. Because think about it. It looks as if skulk has merged with copper. Now, why would they make it like this? Let's go back to the theory about the deep dark portal. Could this have something to do with the deep dark? Maybe not a deep dark portal, but what about the chest theory? Perhaps new chests that you can find in the deep dark, but the only way to open these chests that you could find in the deep dark would be to get these keys from the trial chambers, which encourages you to actually go to these trial chambers. It's an interesting thought. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, because I think this is an interesting idea. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Personally, I think this is all interesting information. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this key is, but it is an interesting thought. And the idea of chests, honestly, thinking about it, these chests are very fascinating. And they did get somewhat late into development. And I believe they were intended to come with the deep dark. We even have some official concept art from Mojang, which is an interesting thought. So, if there's enough development to have official concept art, and it seemingly got somewhat late into development, why was it postponed? These chests would have been an interesting addition if they had come with the deep dark. So why would you postpone it? Well, perhaps they had a reason. Because, I mean, if this is true, then obviously they had their reasons to postpone it. Which is a sad thought, that they would have some reason to postpone a feature that would be very interesting and very integral to the deep dark itself, but perhaps the reasoning was because of that key. Perhaps they wanted to wait until they added the trial key to add the chests, so that they could use the key to open those chests. What do you guys think? I think it's an interesting idea. Personally, I think this is the most plausible way to use the key, except for maybe the idea of a hidden treasure room or a boss room. Either way, those are the two most likely uses for the key, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts on all of this down in the comments below. I'd really appreciate your input. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, because it really helps me out. And I will see you in the next one.